might get hurt tonight. Were you really afraid in the back of your head that something could happen that might have put you in peril?
I was afraid I might get hurt. I didn't fight in 20 years. He only stopped fighting for 3 years. I'm afraid I might get. Why nobody care about my ass?
Well, that's typical, right?
I've been fighting 15 years. He stopped fighting 3 years ago, and everybody worrying about his ass.
Nobody thinks that a giant is going to fall.
I haven't did this in 15, 16 years. I'm not a giant. I'm a beginner.
That guy said he's not a giant. He's a beginner. It makes sense. Makes sense. What up, OG?
Yo, what's good, D? What's good? How was your Thanksgiving week?
I don't know. I think I gained about 10 or 15 pounds in this bad boy.
Yeah, I feel you. Did it feel like it was the COVID version of Thanksgiving? Because I'm sure, like, you followed the protocols.
Follow the protocol. But,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, do I really want to see a lot of people at the end of the day? Because they take
you
all
know what's
the food?
funny? The thing I love about Thanksgiving is that it's like the quickest in and out of family, right?
Quickest in and out.
Yeah, it's like either I'm going somewhere quick and I'm seeing the relatives, or if they're coming over, they're leaving not that far later. So it is quick. It's not meant to be a long thing. So that's what I like about it.
Not meant to be at all. And at the end of the day, you eat, you see them. Yeah, if y'all haven't hanged out before, y'all not gonna hang out afterwards.
No.
So, it was a good Thanksgiving though. I had a good Thanksgiving with the first Thanksgiving, with everybody, and obviously the food and everything like that. It was actually pretty good. But other than that, it was good.
Yeah, and then there was football too.
It was football. They canceled a lot of games. They canceled the Ravens versus Steelers game.
Yeah, I was mad.
Why? Well, who was it? Washington versus Dallas?
Yeah, well, not that.
No.
The Ravens versus the Steelers. The night game.
Yeah,
'cause that was the only game that really was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
only game.
Redskins, Cowboys. Even though they're both 3-7, who cares, right?
Who cares?
I mean, like, well, the winner has 4 wins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, who cares, right?
And
Detroit.
then it was Detroit
and
versus
Houston.
Oh yeah, Houston actually. Deshaun Watson put up a game.
Yeah, you know that they said. I don't know if you agree. They said that if Houston had a winning record right now, Watson would be number 2 for the MVP vote and right behind Mahomes. Do you
He'd
agree
probably
with
be like number 3. His
right now Russell Wilson dropped a bit. Kyler Murray dropped.
You know why? His touchdown to interception ratio is so low.
Yeah.
And he's phenomenal. I have it on one of my fantasies, and he's the only good one in that fantasy that he giving me 30 points, 40 points.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. It's just his team's horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah,
It's horrible. And they have slow starts. That's their biggest issue. They always have slow starts.
Yeah, it's like 3 years ago. Remember when they started off? I think like 1-7.
Yep.
And ripped off like 8 in a row. I think managed to make the playoffs if I'm not mistaken. Same thing right now. I think they're like 4-7. I think something crazy.
Well, I
like
think
that.
because Bill O'Brien was a horrible head coach and a GM.
Here's the thing with Bill O'Brien. He was not a good coach more recently, but you got to remember the reason why they had Bill O'Brien is because the coach before him, I think, is Kubiak. I think it was. He was bad. He was worse. And remember,
but Kubiak got a championship.
Denver? With Denver, with Denver. Yeah. He was because he was always backup. So he was with. He had Von Miller.
Yeah, Peyton Manning on that
Manning,
team.
yeah.
He won a championship.
Part of the system, product.
Yeah, but Houston. I remember when Houston became actually a football team.
Yeah,
it was who was one of the David Carr. Remember him?
Yeah, he was
Derek Carr brother.
Number 1 overall.
Yep.
It was him and Harrington. Joey Harrington was number 2. I remember because they were kind of essentially the new version of what potentially was like the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady rivalry. The new, which obviously fell short. But yeah, I remember.
Who was it? David Carr is Derek Carr brother, and they had the Slayton guy who was a running back. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah, Slayton.
He was in West Virginia back in the day.
He
remember when West Virginia had a good running back? It was Slayton. I believe it was Slayton. Yeah, it was good. And then obviously J.J. Watt's falling there.
They had Mario Williams too.
Yeah, Mario Williams.
Yeah, defensive end.
He went to Buffalo Bills and he was decent in Buffalo. He made a lot of money, Mario Williams.
Yeah.
But he didn't live up to the hype. But it was a expansion. That was when I was in high school back in the day when that happened.
Over 20 years ago. Because essentially that's when the Oilers became the Titans.
But they had a lot of good people. They had D-Hop, obviously. They had J.J. Watts. They had Sean Johnson. Andre Johnson later.
But still,
they had a lot of decent players, and they just couldn't.
My favorite was Arian Foster. I thought he was
remember him?
I think for the first 4 or 5 year stint as like the top running back along with AP, LaShawn McCoy a little bit underneath, but for that 4 or 5 years, he really was almost unstoppable.
He was.
He reminded me of a bigger version of Jamal Charles. Remember Jamal Charles? He was so
with Kansas City.
shifty.
I was thinking. Remember Jamal Lewis?
For the Ravens and then later on the Browns.
Yeah, Jamal Lewis was phenomenal.
He was great.
Remember Priest Holmes? Oh.
You know, it's funny when you talk about some of these running backs. A lot of it seems to be Kansas City products. Priest Holmes was Kansas City. Larry Johnson, he had a good couple years. Jamal Charles.
Look, Kansas City always had good offensive threat. So I was telling you before we broadcast. Remember, this is Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, is like Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. You'll never get this. Obviously, we never seen Michael Jordan versus LeBron.
Do you think the closest was when it was Michael Jordan versus Allen Iverson? Was that the closest?
No, I would think Michael Jordan versus Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So that would be probably the closest. But at the end of the day, the heights that LeBron James have right now, that it will be better. But it's Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. That's the closest we get to greatness.
It is. I mean,
It used to be the Aaron Rodgers versus Michael Jordan, but not Michael Jordan. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. But
don't think they were too close. That's kind of like that was like, what'd you say, Michael Jordan versus Hakeem Olajuwon maybe in that level of dominance?
No, because we didn't thought Hakeem Olajuwon was dominant.
Charles Barkley, though.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, it wouldn't. It used to be Michael Jordan versus Mac Johnson would probably be that dominance. We used to thought that was the level.
But Mac Johnson, he left early because remember.
No, but they played. They played. But they played though because Hakeem Olajuwon, we didn't thought he was that great like that. He still was great, but we didn't put him in the echelon of
two-time MVP.
Yeah, but we didn't put him as Larry Bird. And keep in mind, one of the championship was on a strike year when Knicks should have won that championship. Knicks should have won that championship with Patrick Ewing and everything. Just came up kind of short on Game 7. But we will say Magic Johnson versus Michael Jordan, or even when it was. Think about like all the greats. It used to, or think about like Peyton Manning versus someone else on there. So let's say
Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. That was deep.
But
rivalry.
that was in the same kind of.
You're talking about So you're talking about like the up and coming player versus the established veteran that's been established as a Hall of Famer already.
Up and coming player, who would have been an up and coming player when Peyton Manning would come on there? Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson beat him in the Super Bowl.
So 8 years ago,
So Russell Wilson beat him in the Super Bowl. So this would be Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. That would have been the LeBron James versus Michael Jordan type discussion.
I could go that
but
route.
Obviously, Michael Jordan came with the Kobe Bryant, so that would have been a discussion too.
Yeah, I can
of
see
greatness. So
I can see that on that route.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I want to almost throw Ben Roethlisberger into the mix a little bit. You know, he just never had MVP, but he's been a two-time Super Bowl champion.
They never thought of him as an up and coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to. It's tough to put him in because he doesn't have any of the accolades that puts him. You know, like the thing with Dan Marino, he's not a champion, but he had so many records until they were broken by other QBs. But for a while, he had like 10+ records.
But I would think the up and coming, they put Aaron Rodgers up and coming because he followed the great Brett Favre. They never thought Tom Brady, obviously, but Tom Brady kind of made himself to great. And then you had Patrick Mahomes that I still think he should have. It was one offsides away of being 2-time Super Bowl champion. If he wasn't at that offside, because that championship was so boring. L.A. Rams versus Patriots.
It wasn't Chris Jones, was it? I feel like
Chris Jones. Yeah, he had an offsides at the end. Yeah,
in overtime.
Yeah, but neither here or there. We're gonna talk about that knockout that made the internet go wild.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up with Nate Robinson? Man?
So first of all, let me take a step back and say real quick that I still like Nate Robinson. He's one of my favorite NBA players of all time. You know, slam dunk champion multiple times. 3 times I think to be exact in a row. Beat Dwight Howard. So he's still on my list of one of my favorite NBA players of all time. Now, as far as fighting goes, or one of fighters, I don't know. He's not on that list in any ranking of any kind.
This is what having too much yes men in your corner will get you. Nate Robinson is small compared to
5'8", I think.
Jake Paul, whatever his name is, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah.
He is a internet troller.
Yeah.
And he's a big dude. And the guy he did this before. Nate Robinson. It looks like they was just teaching him all offense. They wasn't teaching no defense. That was a bad decision, Nate. You know better. You know better.
I think maybe that probably was the strategy. Him having like such a less advantage in reach. I think his game plan or their game plan by his coaches or trainers was that, hey, start being aggressive from the beginning. Be the aggressor. Go at him first, because if you're playing defense, he's going to catch you every time. He is. I mean, he had the longer reach. He would.
That was just a horrible decision to even go for that. I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't go for it. He's not a boxer. You see, homeboy, he did at least a couple of boxing. All he wants to do is fight people to get money. He's a clout chaser. Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's a clout chaser. But at the end of the day, now you're in a situation that you're gonna be a meme for a long time. A meme. So I just think that was a bad decision for him to even fight this guy, Jake Paul.
Here's my question, right? If let's say Nate won, right? Do you think he would have gotten another fight? I'm trying to understand why he did.
He probably would have got another fight, but I have a feeling he wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand why he did it. Like, was it?
Is it for the money?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, I'm sure he has enough money in the bank.
Yeah, but it could be because of the money.
Yeah, it could be. But I just felt like with him, there wasn't any reason to do it. I thought automatically him coming in, he was already going to be as a disadvantage just because he just has such a lower reach than Jake Paul. I didn't see why he would do a fight if he wasn't going to get anything out of it, unless they just have like some type of beef that goes back behind the scenes that we don't know about.
I just think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I wouldn't do it. I don't know why he did it. It just didn't make no sense. It really didn't.
I will say, I don't have laughing. That was a shot. Like he fell.
He went night-night.
He went night-night.
He went night-night.
You know, he went night-night. He was out.
He was out for a while.
And then, you know, there was like, it's funny, like I watch a lot of different boxing matches where somebody can get hit and then they're out, you know, they the 10 count, they get up and they'll look at the train, they'll say, what happened, right?
What happened?
Yeah, Nate didn't say anything. He
like,
didn't
where
know.
did
He couldn't. He just.
Coach, where you went?
Yeah, like,
where you went, Coach?
Where am I? What's going on?
Where did he go, Coach?
So now does that mean like Jake Paul that he gets another fight somewhere with against another celebrity? Oh, I don't know.
Like, he does this every time. Is this a clout chasing? He doesn't do anything but internet. He's a YouTube star that sells a lot of merch. Him, Paul. Is it Paul Logan? It's Jake Logan, Paul Logan, the brothers and stuff. They're the brothers. That's all they do is YouTube.
Troll.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's
wait
YouTube.
for response,
YouTube. When they go to like Twitter, they go to when Vine was like a big deal. It just Nate Robinson. You have millions of dollars and I think he has a podcast and a show on YouTube.
Yeah.
He over here doing a fight with freaking Paul Hogan, Jake Hogan, whatever his damn name is. That's stupid.
Jake Paul. Jake Paul.
Is it Jake Paul? That's the name.
Yeah.
Jake Paul. And him and his brother just. I don't think so. I don't know why.
Somebody put him up to it, and I think you're right. There's too many yes men on his camp that although I would tell him. I think he probably looked at what Conor McGregor did and how Conor kind of did that transition, and Conor, even though Conor was gonna lose to Floyd, he made like I'm thinking somewhere around close to 100 mil in that fight. Nate Robinson, I don't know. I don't think they disclosed what they made in this fight. Did you hear anything about it?
It's not gonna be $1 million or nothing.
No, so I'm thinking.
Conor McGregor fought him too.
No, Conor went against Floyd. Remember?
Oh, that's a different thing.
I'm thinking Nate just thought like, well, if Conor McGregor can convert from MMA to boxing, even though it's a lot similar, and I think Nate just the type of person he is. Remember, Nate Robinson is the same guy. And years back, there was a brawl with the Knicks, and I don't know if it was against Denver Nuggets. There was a brawl. Nobody was coming at Nate. I remember him coming at Carmelo, and Carmelo was taking steps back. Carmelo knew who Nate was, and at that point, Carmelo wasn't trying to go.
Nate Robinson looked tired.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
Listen, I get it. Street fighting and boxing is a totally different animal.
Yeah.
Street fighting, you could kind of go anywhere,
Yeah.
get a stone, rock him in the head, get something. You try to kill the dude.
Yeah.
But the boxing is all technical.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's why Floyd Mayweather is so popular because he does all defense.
All defense.
He's good.
Yeah.
It looks like when you was looking at that fight, he did not. Because he was not taught defense whatsoever.
Who? Nate
Robinson. He was not taught defense. No. He was taught to be on attack mode. That's all it was. Just be on attack mode. That's all it was. Like he wasn't attacking.
Yeah.
He was falling.
He was
attacking that floor.
Yeah.
He was attacking the ring.
Yeah, it's a different outlook. Like street fighting versus like that systematic way in that ring.
The way he got knocked out, I just looked at him like, man, bro, how you gonna get back from this? How you gonna get back from this?
I mean, he just felt like he just dropped like what they call like a sack of potatoes.
You can't even do a redo. You know how you like when you about to play Madden online and you losing by 21-0, you just shut it off real quick, get it off, get off the stats.
You're done. Yeah.
You can't even do a redo on this one. You can't even do a redo.
It's on YouTube, Instagram.
It's gonna be a meme. Damn, I feel bad for homeboy.
Like so it's like you know what it reminds me of? Remember Kimbo Slice?
Yeah, when he got knocked out.
Yeah, when he
in
got
UFC?
knocked out, same thing. He was a street fighter. And if all the listeners that don't know who Kimbo Slice is or know a little bit, if
rest in peace to him too.
Oh,
as well.
definitely rest in peace. Definitely, his son. Does I don't know if he's with Bellator or whoever, but if you watch some of his like the street fights he did before he went to UFC, is that this dude was an animal in the streets. But then when he got in the ring, whole different ball game.
Same thing with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar had some success with it.
In the beginning. The success was against Ruiz. I think it was Luis Ruiz. I think it was the chubbier guy. Because what happened, Brock won, but he ended up failing the drug test. So it was deemed that he lost. But before, and it was actually closer than it should have been. And Luiz, he had filed a lawsuit against UFC or something towards the drug test. But in the beginning fights, he was a lot more dominant, Brock Lesnar. Later on, either he got figured out or otherwise he just started to lose his stamina and just couldn't really hang on, along the way. Like Frank Mir, if you look at Frank Mir, when Frank Mir went against Brock Lesnar, and that's when Frank Mir beat Brock Lesnar. Then
with
Brock
a chokehold, right?
I think
it was a chokehold.
It was a couple shots, and it might have been a choke.
Submission. It was some type of submission.
I think it was a submission. And Frank Mir wasn't really the odds-on favorite. It was actually supposed to be Brock. But Frank Mir ended up catching him and figuring out. And then that's when Brock came back after that hiatus and then won. But like I said, he won and then he ended up failing the drug test. But it's a different ball game. When you think you're a street fighter and you've won, it's not always the same depending on who you go against.
That's what I'm saying. That's like a perfect example when Michael Jordan went to the baseball.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
hey, you're great in baseball, but hey, you're great in basketball, but baseball is a whole different sport. Think about all the greats, Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson. They go into different type of sports and think that they could just go crazy and do good on it. No, man. No, that's why I keep on hearing they want Usman Bolt to be a soccer player. You know how hard it is to be a soccer player?
Didn't they want him to be a football player? Then he got hurt. Remember he got hurt?
But
was it Australia? Was it?
No, I don't even know. He
got hurt. I know that.
You know how hard it is to play soccer and football? You just can't go after you dominate a host another sport to go somewhere else. That's what makes me even the Dallas Cowboy defensive line that became who was that guy? He was a
when I went to MMA.
Yeah. Greg Hardy.
Yeah. Now he's doing good.
He's doing good, but he lost a couple of times. He's not like he's dominant. We don't see him on the main event. We see him on the undercard. But you see him on the main. You don't see him on the main.
I think he's 2-1 maybe.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
But the thing is, the fact that he was a football player, you would think he would lose, right? He's won. What I'm saying.
Well, you see, Nate Robertson was trying to do it for the culture. He just kind of made the culture look
made
bad.
It worse.
Made the culture look really bad.
Yeah, because everybody was rooting for him.
Yeah,
everybody.
I have a feeling he saw this. He's like, "Yo, this is white guy." You know what I'm saying?
I got him. I got him.
Story. Hey, man, I get it. Some white boys are a little different to fight with. You gotta make sure you understand what you're going with.
He pretty much looked at it like, "Yo, I beat Dwight Howard in a slam dunk contest. I could beat Jake Paul in a fight."
Yeah, it's a couple of white dudes I fought that I was like, I had to make sure I plan it out right.
Yeah,
like don't go for his head. Don't try to body him. Just duck and weave, bob and weave,
duck and weave,
jabbing out, in and out.
Yeah, see, the goal you should always have is that you get the first shot. He didn't get the first shot.
Yeah, I had
he was swinging, but he didn't get the first shot.
I remember when I fought this white boy. This guy was coming at me, and he was like, "I'm gonna kill you." I was like, "Okay, okay." Hey, now I know I got to bob and weave with this dude, because he gonna take some hits.
Yeah,
he gonna take some hits, and he might not go all down too quickly.
I think that was Jake Paul's strategy right there. Was that let Nate, because Nate actually was aggressive right from the beginning, but I think what happened, he was just going too wild, and that's why he just threw that shot caught on the top of that.
He was going aggressive.
Yeah,
and this guy
he just wasn't hit.
Nate Robinson was not on the defensive. You got to be good defense. Yeah, you was hanging out with, because I see Floyd Mayweather saying, we'll get him next time. Yo, Floyd, why you ain't teach him defense, man? Like, he was on the objective to just keep on attacking. Yeah. The problem was, I think he's smaller than Jake Paul. So you can't be going after a dude that's bigger. Like, that's every street fight. If a dude's bigger than you, you don't go after him. Yeah. You do stuff to run around him or something, make him tired. Yeah. You over here trying to bob it. You trying to attack for attack. Come on, man. What Napoleon did when he was doing the wars, he all had a lot of defense.
Oh, that short French.
Yeah, come on, man. It's crazy. But listen, Nate, don't do that again, man. I feel bad for you now. You're a meme for a while.
You think he's retiring after that?
Retiring for what? He wasn't even supposed to be in it.
I guess.
He's not supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
So like, what you retired for?
Yeah, that's right.
Like
yeah.
you just made a bad decision.
You made a bad decision,
executive decision. All those yes men in your corner, fire them.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what nobody says. You gotta fire those yes men.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it no more. You can't do it. You really cannot be in a situation anymore that you getting yourself in this situation. Because now I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Yo, you know what? Maybe the dude just wanted to just try it out, and at the end,
try
of the
what
day,
out? Get knocked out?
Nah, just be in the ring and just do it. You know what I mean? Like this fight is that fight all the time. That should be out. Like
he got enough money to get in his own ring and try to do his own thing.
But there's dudes that fight. You know, like here's a good example. Anderson Silva, right? He lost. I think it was like about a month ago.
But that's a different story. But Anderson was dominant for years.
No, but I'm saying my point is that like he shouldn't have been there, right?
Yeah,
he should have been. You know what I'm saying? What the UFC Dana White, the UFC commissioner, whatever, he said that it's his fault. He said I shouldn't have allowed him to fight. He didn't belong there. Anderson Silva wanted to fight, but he didn't belong there.
But
same thing with Nate. Nate doesn't belong there.
There's a big difference between Anderson Silva was dominant for years and years. He was so dominant that sometimes
he was in his 40s.
But think about what Tom Brady. He don't want to leave NFL because he's been dominant for years.
And he's in his 40s.
And then Anderson was same thing, dominant for years and years. It is hard to tell someone who been dominant for so long they have to give it up. You know how hard it is to tell someone that, believe it or not, the only reason why we didn't tell Tom Brady he had to give it up because he won those 2 Super Bowls. Even though those 2 Super Bowls wasn't really a great Super Bowls that he won them. So it's hard to tell him that, but think of what Peyton Manning did. When he won his last Super Bowl,
horrible.
Everybody know that he looked horrible. Yeah. I felt like his neck surgery was coming back to him because he couldn't throw the ball anymore. So that's the type of decision we got to really ask ourselves to tell people when they need to give it up. Now we can't tell LeBron James, even though we know in a couple of about 3 or 4 years, he most likely have to give it up. He did slow down a little. He had his
in 3 or 4 years he'll be 39, right?
Yep. He been playing since 18. That's
18.
a long time. His body. Then I'm not saying that he's not great still. But eventually, we're going to have to tell him to give it up. Because at the end of the day, even though he had his MVP season, technically he won second in MVP or third in MVP, whatever he won.
He should have won. Giannis won, but he should have won.
You notice that he needs a lot of help to win these little MVPs. I still think that...
When you say help, like, he didn't win the MVP.
He didn't know to even get in the conversation. That team was with AD. I'm not saying that he didn't do better than AD, but AD give him a big help.
It's funny. Some people look at it the opposite. The fact that you have a top 5 player with you, sometimes you diminish how good, how important he is. Because remember, most valuable is not always necessarily who's like the best in the league. Sometimes, even though it should be LeBron, it's how valuable you are to your team.
Davis.
That's
is
why
the
Harden didn't win this year.
Harden didn't win because he's a ball hog. But Davis is one of the most important people in LeBron for the next 4 years with Lakers. He's going to be the most important person for LeBron.
In 4 years, yes.
Next 4 years.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're going to have to tell him to hook it up. I'm not saying last year was his time. I'm not saying this year might be his time. But when we see in 4 years after playing.
The last player that was 40 years old, 39, 40, was Dirk Nowitzki, right?
Yep. He hanged it up.
And Dwayne Wade was Dwayne 38-ish?
He was in 30s. 30,
yeah, okay.
30s.
So now they looked like they didn't belong in the NBA. As a matter of fact, Vince Carter, because Vince Carter just didn't finish this bubble year. He was 40. Yep. Vince Carter looked like he should have retired 3 years ago, and I love Vince Carter. Love him. Air Canada, love him. LeBron, if let's say in 4 years he looks like he's still good enough, would you still say he should retire?
I still say it.
Even though because remember, Dirk looked like it.
It's just like Tom Brady. Believe it or not, Tom Brady's still playing a high level, but he should retire in a couple of years.
See, that's a 50-50 split because the thing with Tom Brady, he has a lot of great weapons around him that kind of makes him look good. If you put him in that same New England team,
and what happened with LeBron? He got a lot of good weapons that make him look good. Rondo was a good weapon. Anthony Davis was a good weapon. If you think about it, if you even calculate, even Kuzma is all right. Kuzma is all right. Anthony Bradley was a good weapon. They have their own points.
Dwight Howard
Howard. A lot of
All of
people
them are gone.
All of them, and now who you have now?
Well, so my point is that
Hold on.
they
You
were
said-
good enough.
Hold on, you say all of them are gone. Guess what you have now?
Except Anthony, even though he's
guess-
still
but-
unsigned.
and you basically just made your whole team even
Yeah,
better.
I know they got Gasol, they got Schrader. I know.
Shooter, they have
Schrader, yeah.
Gasol, and they still keep on going. So no matter what, it's gonna they're gonna have a lot of good players. That's just good GM. He should win whoever the GM Pelinka should win the GM of the executive of the year because it's gonna be tough outing to get Lakers out.
Rob, that's
Rob
Kobe's,
Kobe.
Kobe's, manager.
It's gonna be a tough outing to get him out. He has so much weapons now. So even if he's declining, no matter what, you're still gonna see no one's gonna want him out. He's gonna be an old dude still.
You talking about LeBron, right?
Oh, he probably be going about 45, 46.
Yeah.
But I would think, and he's really trying to push for to play with his son.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The reason why he wants to play is that he wants to be the first. At least I can't remember. Other than I know Ken Griffey Senior, Junior played together. I know that as far as baseball, I can't remember in basketball ever.
I think that's the only one. I don't
duo
think it's a father-son duo. I've never seen a father-son.
I mean, there's
duo.
some nice fun and father, like you got Tim Hardaway Jr. in the NBA too. That's pretty cool. Patrick Ewing's son played for a good 2 years.
Well, he played. Patrick Ewing's son played. I thought he only played in Georgetown.
He played 1 year in the NBA,
good.
another year as
he wasn't good at all.
He got demoted to the CB. What is it? What do they call it now? The
it's like G League.
Yeah, the G League. Yeah,
he wasn't good.
And then,
even
but he did play at least in the NBA. For
even Dell Curry. Dell Curry was good. He wasn't a superstar, but he was more of a supporting role. But he had Steph Curry. Steph Curry. If you actually look at his family, Steph Curry and Steph Curry, they're really good. Steph Curry. His shooting range from 3 points, 44%. A lot of people, his
percentage is actually better than Steph.
Yeah, a lot of people got that underlying. Obviously, he don't got the handles like Steph. He don't got the persona like Steph. He don't got the aura.
But he's not a playmaker like Steph. He can't create his own shot.
But he can shoot. He can shoot. I remember when Clippers was going against Dallas. He was a threat.
Yeah,
he was a big threat. But yeah, I just feel like some of these superstars, especially the Hall of Fame ones, that's like a mega stars, is Tom Brady. What is LeBron James? With Peyton Manning, he went. They had to go. They had to go at a certain time, and sometimes if you want this greatness right now, you should leave at your greatest peak. That's what Michael Jordan did.
That's what Barry Sanders did.
That's what Barry Sanders.
That's what Calvin Johnson did.
Exactly.
The only difference between them is that they never won a championship, and I think for them, they knew looking forward. They weren't going to win one. They already had the bank stacked. They had everything they needed, wanted.
They could have won a championship.
LeBron can still win.
Yeah, but they could have won a championship. They just didn't want to leave their team. Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders.
They were never going to win. They wasn't
going to leave their team. That was a big issue. They don't want to leave their team.
Oh, yeah. Same thing with Dan Marino.
Yeah, because
they didn't want to leave Miami. Yeah. And otherwise, he retired never winning a championship.
They could have won they could have left, just like everybody else is doing. Because think about what LeBron did. He left to get his 2 championships because he knew he wasn't going to get it in Cleveland.
That's true.
Then he came back.
That's a good point.
They came back when he had Kyrie Irving and who was it? Kevin Love
and Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, that's when he won the championship. Yeah. So the greatness, obviously, is
Varejao. Was that Varejao? The wild hair.
Yeah,
it's funny. Didn't he win? He played. He won a championship that year, the year that Golden State won, because he was traded from Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean from Cavs to.
Yeah. But
it was weird.
But at the end of the day, too, like Michael Jordan left in his peak.
He did.
The reason why he left is just because they didn't want to pay Scottie Pippen and they didn't want to have the team back. But he could have won another championship everywhere.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you disagree with this. When he came back with the Wizards, he could have actually won if he stayed a little longer. When I say a little bit longer, that means getting more players. But they were a good team.
I think he just went there so they could kind of get his value up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because at that point he was part owner of the Wizards, which eventually elevated him.
And he went to the All-Star that year.
He did go to All-Star. As a matter of fact, if you go on YouTube, I remember watching the All-Star. He actually went for a dunk. Kobe was covering him. Was guarding right at the post, and then he actually in the wing, covering him. He cut Kobe, went for the hoop, went to dunk it, and then got stuffed by the rim. So if you, it was you gotta laugh, but then you kind of like, well, he is 40.
Yeah. Let's say before a lot of people they walk up their cleats, and let's say before it's one of those things. LeBron did a lot of things for the NBA, meaning a lot of people to leave their organizations just get a championship. They don't stay in their same organization anymore to get a championship. They leave their organization to get a championship, and I think that's the biggest problem with today's NBA. And then it's just because they leave now to get the championship. Now that we talk about NBA, you see those free agent signings?
Did I see it?
Those free agent signings is going to be something different, I tell you. Something different. Now,
So do you agree with everybody that says that the Lakers won the signing, or do you disagree? You think
Lakers won that signing. Okay. It's going to be hard. You got Montrezl Harrell, you got Dennis Schroeder, you have everybody. Like, come on. Like, how are you going to lose that signing?
But here's the thing. They lost Howard. They lost JaVale McGee.
And
now
they upgraded.
I know, because they got Gasol now. But my point is that you lost a lot more than you gained, right? You lost Avery Bradley. You lost Rondo. You lost Dwight. You lost JaVale McGee, as I was just mentioned. So you lost more than you gained. Now they're still better off than they were. Yeah, sometimes you want to kind of say, did you have to lose all 4? I mean, it wasn't a trade. It was all signs.
I think they just didn't want to pay the rest. The other ones was because think about Rondo. He went to Atlanta for the money. Think about Dennis, Dwight Howard. He went for the money. He went to Philadelphia because he's the only one who said that they was interested in him. Who else? JaVale McGee. I don't know where he went, but he obviously is for the money. Then they came up. They just trying to run it back with other people. Now, my boys Clippers. I don't think they did good in the trading because they only really lost Montrezl Harrell. And Shamet. They lost Shamet, but Shamet wasn't really. But as I said before, and I say it again, Montrezl Harrell was horrible in the playoffs, and he was exposed of what he can't do. He cannot stick a superstar big, regardless of what you try to say about him. He's a great 6-man, but he can't start. He cannot guard a superstar big, and he's too little undersized for a center. So we did get Ibaka, which I think Ibaka is a great signing. Great signing.
Yeah. So now I'm a Magic fan. So at one point we did have Serge Ibaka in our team.
Now what happened to that? I don't know.
Nothing really happened. It was I think it was that trade with Victor Oladipo. Remember when Victor Oladipo got traded to OKC?
Yeah.
In that trade we got Ibaka as part of that trade. We got a draft pick. So we needed a power forward, which he was helpful to do that. But we also need a scorer, and that's what he's not. So now you don't really need a scorer because you have Paul George. You also
he's a good shooter.
He is a good
shooter, good rim defender.
Oh, and he was
more energetic.
Yeah, he was great with Toronto.
He can stick bigger people than Harrell. A lot of people said that Clippers lost this free agency, but did they really lose the free agency?
Well, here's how they won, and I think this is what's important that people may not be bringing up a lot, is that the problem with the Clippers, and this is why Doc was fired, is that Doc, I felt, didn't actually stand up and criticize plays when they needed to be criticized. You brought it up before in a few episodes in the past that this calling timeouts at the wrong time, not otherwise gauging, understanding when when it's right to bench players or put bench Paul George when you need to. There was never a direct leader on the floor. I never felt that way. Nope. I think with Ibaka, it does bring a guy in that otherwise is more outspoken. He can actually contribute to the leadership that the team is lacking.
And the reason why you really bring Ibaka because you need to keep Kawhi Leonard. Paul George, he could go, but you really need to keep Kawhi Leonard after the season. Because believe it or not, Paul, with all the things that we gave up for Paul George, he could leave. He could leave next year.
The draft pick start next year, 2022.
Yeah, he could leave next year.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it was a good signing. The Clippers still need a point guard, and I don't know how they're gonna get this point guard because Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams not a point guard, and I love Lou Williams and I love Patrick Beverly, but they wasn't in the playoffs.
They're still with the team. They're
gonna shop around to get rid of Lou Williams.
It's Reggie Jackson that you guys are losing.
Yeah, well, we're not losing him. He's still in the team too.
No, he's a free agent. I don't know if he got signed.
He's still with the team. Even if he's not a free agent, we don't care. Reggie Jackson, we don't care. But at the end of the day, Lou Williams, we're gonna try to shop around. We getting rid of Lou. We're gonna have to get rid.
Oh yeah,
he did not want to be in the playoffs. And it showed. It really did show. It showed. Montrezl Harrell didn't want to be in it. It showed. Patrick Beverly lucky that we can't get rid of him.
So supposedly the whole Montrezl is that he didn't get along with players. Is that what you were hearing?
Because you know what it is?
Who would he not get along with?
I heard that there's a rumor that he didn't get along with people because of the treatment of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
But keep in mind, Montrezl, you're not a superstar. You won your 6 man of the year, but believe it or not, you was exposed in that playoff. You're not a superstar. Lou Williams, you're not a superstar.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly,
so now you
gotta
know your role.
You're not a superstar.
Yeah.
When you start winning, that's when we do it.
Yeah.
That's when you start saying stuff like that. Kawhi Leonard, 2-time champ. Paul George, multiple-time All-Star. So no matter how Lou Williams, how many All-Stars Lou Williams went to? None.
All-Stars? None.
Yeah,
Honestly,
how many
none.
Patrick Bev went to? None.
None.
I know they won their little 6th man of the year for Lou Williams and Montrez, but at the end of the day, you're not a superstar. Now, Montrez, you're gonna be in the LA Lakers. Guess what? If Lakers don't go far, they will blame you, and you're gonna see why. So
I don't think they'll blame him because, like I was saying, they lost a lot of players. Like I said,
I
Dwight
guarantee
Howard,
you, if he don't contribute to their championship and they lose somewhere in the finals
Yeah.
or something, they will blame someone.
Well, I mean, the blame might go towards LeBron because you might look at it and say, hey, LeBron, we gave you a better center. We gave you a better forward. So we gave you some better weapons around
But is
you.
Montrez really a better center than Dwight Howard?
No, Gasol is better. Not Montrez,
yeah,
but
okay,
Gasol
okay.
is better.
Yeah, Gasol is
and I
better.
think that's where they're going to look. I mean, yeah, they can flip-flop back and forth, but Gasol is the bigger guy. He's the one that will be always down low.
True.
So they're going to look at LeBron and say, LeBron, we gave you more. You wanted Anthony Davis? We gave you Anthony Davis. You know, you got hurt. That's fine. The second year, you better do it. He did it. Because remember, in this speech, he said, you doubted me. You know, you doubted Pelinka. You doubted Jeannie Buss. You doubted the Lakers. Put some respect in my name. Put respect in their name. You know what I mean?
LeBron is trying to chase 6 rings, and that's his problem.
He's trying to reach Jordan, obviously.
It's not going to happen.
He'll get the blame, but the thing is,
you know why?
He did the odds-on favor
A lot
anyway.
of people try to say he tried to make it for 6 losses in the championship, so they try to make it 6-6 instead of Jordan being 6-0. So he thinks that if he gets 6 championships, 6-6, he will be the number one. That's exactly his mindset is.
Yeah,
it still
I love
stings.
LeBron. It's not
6 losses is still tough.
Yeah, it's not
6 losses is still tough.
And if you want to talk about win percentage, Tim Duncan has a better. And Tim Duncan played forward too.
Exactly.
LeBron played guard as well. He's very agile.
Yeah. Tim Duncan lost how many championships? Tim Duncan 1?
Well, 5. I think he's won 5 out of 6. Right? They lost the one.
He lost one with when Miami with the shot.
Correct. Yeah.
And Kawhi Leonard was in that
Yeah.
team, and they should have.
Yeah.
Won
So
that game.
as far as finals, they also lost in certain early games. I remember the Lakers. Remember when Lakers?
Yeah, I see that
with
too.
Derek Fisher.
But more,
and them.
people forget about that. People don't forget about championship. They lost arguably one of the best clutch shot ever
Easily.
made by Ray Allen.
Of course.
Other than that, they didn't lose. They never lose.
Wait, they lost one to the Clippers. I mean, to the Cavs. So they lost. So it's 5-7.
They never lost to the Cavs.
When Spurs didn't lose to the Cavs?
Why would Spurs lose to the Cavs? You ever seen Spurs lose to the Cavs? They only lost with Miami. That's the only team they lost to. Cavs went to the championship.
No, they beat the Cavs. I apologize.
Yeah, they swept them.
Swept them. That's what my fault.
It was an easy contest.
Yeah,
it wasn't hard
because I knew there was a matchup. That's my fault.
It wasn't hard at all.
Yeah,
it was a sweat.
So 5 or 6, Tim. So
5-1.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
So he still has. So that's why with LeBron, he doesn't need to chase after Jordan. I know he probably may want to say that I have the longevity on my back. I did it longer. That's fine.
Kobe Bryant was 5-2. He only lost to Detroit, and he lost to Detroit, and he lost to Boston.
Yeah, that's right.
He's 5-2.
Yeah.
So his win percentage for
He's not,
LeBron,
he's
I
not,
get
yeah.
it. I get it. Even like if you think about Steph Curry lost what, twice on there.
Yeah. So one to Cavs. Twice
once
to Cavs, right?
Once to the Cavs and once to Toronto.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So there was
that's right.
3-2.
Toronto was not that long ago.
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah.
3-2. So it was
The only
tough.
thing with them, they did make the final 7. It was at 5-6 years straight.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you had a super team.
Yeah, exactly.
The first, they had a super team. Like Kevin Durant and that team was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if Kevin Durant didn't lose or leave, they would have probably won so many championships. They probably would have won so many championships. Yeah, they probably would have went to about 3 or more. And I don't think they, especially with Kevin Durant, they could just.
You're probably right. It's tough to argue. I can go that route. But I think what probably happens too is that if, let's say, Durant didn't leave, the question would be what other teams now they stack up with superstars, right? Because eventually that's what would happen. A super team have to be built at that point.
I'm so happy that Kawhi Leonard started the trends with only 2 superstars.
Yeah, I like
per
that
team.
too. I wasn't a big fan of the
Because
big
I
three.
wasn't a big fan of the big threes and things like it made the NBA so boring. I didn't want to see
Because you already
Golden
knew who
State.
was going to be in the playoffs. What was the point of the regular season?
Golden State versus Cleveland every single time. Even when it was Miami versus whoever the West was. Every single time. It was kind of annoying.
Well, so if it was pretty much Miami, Toronto, because remember, Toronto was good even before Kawhi.
Yeah, but they're not going to the championship.
But I'm saying,
I know
you already know who's going to be in the playoffs.
But they never go to. They never went. That's the first time we went to the finals. So
the Toronto?
Yeah, that was the first time. They're not going to go to the finals.
But I'm saying, you know who's going to be in the playoffs.
Back in the day, it used to be Spurs. It used to be Spurs or Lakers.
It's Spurs and Lakers.
Spurs or Lakers.
Yeah.
Spurs always go every 3 years. It's like a tradition. Yeah. Every 3 years,
it's like foosball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just swinging it each way. You know who's going to score which first. It was back and forth between the two. Yeah. So it was like one of those things where you already know who was going to be out of the playoffs already.
Yeah.
You were just waiting for the playoffs to start because there was no point. Unlike NFL, where sometimes you get them super surprises of like, damn, this team, like right now,
it was San Francisco versus Kansas City.
Yeah, like right now, your Giants are number one.
I don't know how they became number one.
Weeks ago,
4 wins, 4-7.
Yeah.
Hey. I guess we'll take it. We'll see one more week in the playoffs, and then we're gonna get bounced out. Although what's the name lost, so who else is in there?
Well, Eagles are playing them tomorrow.
No, Eagles playing.
Cowboys lost.
Eagles playing Seattle tomorrow, and Seattle just need a win, and they're already in the wild card.
Seattle's playing tonight, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow night.
Eagles.
Who's playing tonight?
Tomorrow it's Chicago and Packers.
I don't want to see those.
Well, it won't matter either way because the thing is, whoever wins the NFC East is gonna get that playoff spot.
They're gonna get rocked. Yeah. They're not gonna win. They're gonna go against Tampa Bay. They're gonna get rocked. Like what's the point? What's the point of even watching that type of game? Like, Daniel Jones injured too, so it's not like he gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, at least I'll tell you. At least you got 2 Super Bowls that you watch. In my whole life, the Dolphins are finally good. And they may make the playoff, but that doesn't mean they're going to win anything. 2
of the best Super Bowls I've ever watched.
Great Super Bowls, yeah.
Like, I think of top 3 Super Bowls, those 2 Super Bowls, especially the catch. Yeah. You could probably say the Atlanta one with Tom Brady was good. Yeah.
Or the Mario Manahan one. Or the Tyree, obviously.
I like the
Manahan was a
Manahan was a good one, too.
Yeah. And then Plexico Burress.
Yeah, that was a last catch. Plexico Burress.
And the left side, because that's actually what scored and took the lead,
That was a good. I remember those. I was in college. I remember that.
It's funny, we went from football to basketball, segue back into football.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, either way, I'm enjoying it because the NBA is about to start on December 22nd.
Yep. I really hope that this COVID thing goes away so I could go watch a game. Because last year when I watched Clippers versus Celtics, it was the best game of the year. They went to double overtime.
Oh, yeah?
It was a crazy game.
And I tend to watch a lot of the Celtics games unless it was like a certain day.
It was It was like the main event game. It was one of the better games. I was so happy.
So you got to watch Kawhi. He didn't rest.
Nah, he don't rest for those type of games.
Yeah.
He rests when it's a nonsense
funny because I think we had this kind of back and forth debate on it. Is that when is the time to do the rest? And I said it's always time. You rest if you're gonna play at home. Because the fans already seen you play, not when you go out. And I think what was happening is that when there were road games, Doc Rivers would rest Kawhi.
You rest him with Milwaukee when they was playing Milwaukee Bucks. You don't want to rest Kawhi when they're playing Giannis.
But he was doing it at times where it didn't make sense, and it didn't make sense to a fan. It didn't make sense to him as a coach because he was resting a guy that didn't have to fly. Because at that point, if let's say it's a away game, you don't have to fly. So he could just stay home, rehab, do whatever he needed to do, be ready for the next game. And I didn't like that, you know. But he would do it because he felt it made sense for him.
He won two championships. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But Doc is like considered that player's coach.
Yeah. Well, what's up, fellas? 5 now?
Yeah, man. Damn, it's been a while. Or
I know.
2 weeks.
It's been, it's only 2 weeks.
It had the B-Day. Then we had like that great Versus episode last week. So
yeah, acting like it's going to be like, what's the name? We might have to switch up the beats for these things on there. So we're going to see what's on there. Yeah, we're going to switch a beat. You like this beat right here?
Play it. Let me hear it. Yeah, I like that. You got the good bass on that.
Get that rock in there. All right. Go chill with your fellas 5.
All right, now is that time. So we got the new beat, and then we got the new Fellas 5. It's been a couple of weeks, but let's go. Number 5, Black Friday. You heard Black Friday just took place. Now, why is Black Friday on the Fellas 5? Because this is the first Black Friday where certain stores did not open on Thanksgiving. So you remember the last couple of years, you'd go in, you'd have your Thanksgiving dinner, 6, 7 o'clock, stores would open, you would just be in that line, get that TV, get that laptop. There was none of that this year. It was all online. Now, officially, Friday, there were stores open. But on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, they were not open. But that's the new way. That's the new norm. Black Friday is actually just Friday, where Black Friday used to be Thursday. Hey, the main thing is that I got a TV and I got a laptop at a cheap price. That's all I care about. Merry Christmas early to me. Number 5, Black Friday. Number 4, Sarah Fuller. Who is she? Sarah Fuller, first female ever in the FBS Power 5 to play in a game from Vanderbilt last night, Saturday. She made her debut, first female in college football. She did that squib kick in the second half. Apparently, according to her, it was exactly where it was supposed to be. What if there was a run back? But that's not the point. The point is that she made history. It's amazing. You would think of so much sports, soccer, basketball, baseball, and I never really saw a female. I know they have like the one where the girls wear like certain scantily clad outfits for football, but it was pretty cool seeing like an actual traditional outfit in a game in FBS history. That was pretty cool. I would love to see her again doing a field goal or doing a full out kickoff. But congratulations, Sarah Fuller, first women FBS. Let's get it. Number 3. Oh, it's crazy. Fight night. So we talked about earlier. It was fight night this past Saturday night. It was fight night. There was the Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul. There was the Roy Jones versus Iron Mike Tyson. The Iron Mike Tyson ended up in a draw. Here's the cool thing about that whole draw. So Vinny Paz, Rhode Island's own Vinny Paz, was one of the judges. He voted for Roy Jones. Vinny, really? You went for Roy? I thought Mike won it, but that's not actually what was the exciting part. It was actually that knockout by Jake Paul over Nate Robinson. It was a mean shot. Nate, 3-time dunk champ. Stay to basketball, my friend. It was enjoyable to see you out there. Not after the fight, but hey, I don't know. Damn, Nate. That's it. Let's get it. Number 2, Diego Maradona. Argentina's own soccer great, soccer legend, passed away this past Wednesday at age 60. A couple of weeks ago, he was admitted for depression. It seemed like something going on where he didn't felt right, and then all of a sudden he ended up passing away. Sad. Maradona. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I watched the World Cup every time it was supposed to be on. Every 4 years I would watch it. He was one of the greatest of all time. I watched from 82, I believe from 82 to 94. He was he played in the World Cup for Argentina. He ended up coaching a couple of years ago too. I remember that. A soccer legend himself, passed away way too early. A small guy in a sport of bigger guys. And he, very aggressive guy, always in fights and stuff like that, but tragic nonetheless. Pele is the guy that my dad, would talk about that he enjoyed watching. Maradona was always second on that list that he would talk about. But hey, rest in power, my friend. And then number 1, Thanksgiving. So through it all, through pandemic, through everything else that's been going on, through the COVID, there was a Thanksgiving, even though with certain restrictions out there, with no in-home gatherings, kind of keeping distances, keeping the gatherings to a limit of just your in-house relatives, and that's it. We still had a Thanksgiving this past Thursday. What are you thankful for? It's been over 390 years of Thanksgiving that we've been celebrating. We know about the Plymouth Rock. We know about the Pilgrims. We know about that. But what don't we know? What is your favorite food? I'll ask D as soon as this top 5 is over. Is it the turkey? Is it the mashed potato? Is it the corn? Or is it the cranberry? Is it the stuffing? It doesn't matter. It's all great. I enjoy it every year. One of my favorite holidays, if not the favorite holidays. The football always comes in right at the end of the food. And then somehow I always get drowsy and sleepy. I wonder why. Is it the turkey? I'm not sure. There was no football, but there was football. COVID took one of our games away. But at the same time, I was definitely thankful for anybody that's had relatives that have been, contacted by COVID, and other ones that hasn't been. Either way, it's been a great Thanksgiving for the loved ones that you still have in your life. And yeah, through it all, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I hope you are as well. And, thanks for, let's look forward to another good year. There you go, fellas. 5. I guess I'm thankful for that beat too then.
You got to be thankful for that beat. That's a nice little beat.
Yo, so in my fellas 5, number 1 was Thanksgiving. What's your favorite in the food list? You have a favorite?
You know what? I just ate some ham. I haven't ate ham in like a long time.
Honey ham, right?
Honey ham.
Yeah.
That thing was banging.
It's always banging. That's a good one. I
made some-
didn't have that on my
I
list.
made some
but-
Rasta pasta.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. It was banging. I was actually full.
Mine's always the stuffing and the cranberry. There's something about the sweet of the cranberry.
You know what?
And the
I don't
regular
like
taste.
stuff in the cranberry.
I like them combined. So it's like
combined?
one, because
Yeah.
it's like a good blend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a good turkey. I'm not a fan of turkey.
You're not afraid of turkey?
It is what it is. It's part of the tradition. I get it. But if I could cook, I would have made turkey.
Yeah, when you learn how to cook, man?
Till next year. Next year, like,
That means you ain't gonna learn how to
nah,
cook.
you know what I'm saying? I sit back.
You sit back and just
Yo,
eat it.
it's funny. My sister texted me, like, remember when we had, I think it was our first episode where you were like, fellas need to cook and stuff like that. Remember when we did that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably second episode. I remember my sister texting me and she was like, D's right. You know, fellas do need to know how to cook and stuff because she's a really good cook.
Right.
Her husband doesn't cook. And I'm saying growing up, I never cooked, so she would cook and my mom would cook as well. So, but I remember her saying that. I was like, yeah, I could cook some things like
Yeah, macaroni and cheese.
things. You know,
You know, funny thing is, a lot of the top chef are men. So it's not even a man-woman thing. A lot of the top chef are men. Obviously, the women, they know how to cook are really good, but you see all the TV shows and things like that, it's always men.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no excuses. Men,
there is a
men's
lot of
supposed to cook.
There's with the chef, the Hell's chef.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay. Yeah, because when I was in Vegas, there's actually a restaurant that he owns, and his face, his posters right on the side of the building. So you're right, he's there. There's also the one from Mass. You know,
So,
the one
like
there's
Bam with the Bam one.
Yeah,
So, like,
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
A lot of men, a lot of the famous ones. Obviously, I don't know why it could be a gender issue with
It's
that
like
when it
the
comes
most
to those.
famous women chef from TV is Julia Childs.
Yeah, Julia Childs.
That's the only one I can remember that was.
You see how Rachel Ray tried to do a talk show for
and-
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, Martha Stewart. That's a
things
good
like
one.
that.
Is Steph Curry's wife? Wasn't she?
Aisha
involved?
Curry. I don't know if she's involved, but I know she's a cook. She has a cookbook.
But she had a show.
She probably does. I don't even know.
She
but
had a show,
she has a cookbook. But yeah, it's a lot of famous cooks that are men. So everybody's it's not a gender thing.
It's not a gender thing. That's what I'm saying. It's just more like
you know how I learned how to cook? YouTube. I went on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was in college. I was a sophomore in college, and I wanted to learn how to cook on there. So I went on YouTube, figure out how to cook chicken. That was the first thing I cooked, and it was bad the first time because all blood coming down when I cut it. It was nasty. It was disgusting. But at the end of the day, I learned how to cook. Then I start graduating, just like how I graduated, got my diploma. I graduated and got my cooking degree too. I don't have a cooking degree, but that's how I felt every time I cook on there. It was nasty foods. I'm telling you, sometimes the pasta wasn't cooked right. Sometimes the rice was a little too chewy. Sometimes the rice was a little too hard. And sometimes when I eat, and I was like, ugh. One time I literally bit into the chicken, it was all blood. I was like, I thought it looked good on the outside, but I didn't understand it wasn't good on the inside. So it's one of those things. That's why back in the day I used to love steak. Because no matter how you cook it, it's probably still good.
I'm surprised you're still alive. You ate the chicken with the blood.
That's Ebola or something. But that's why I like. The funny thing in the beginning, I used to love steak because when I cooked it,
Didn't matter
because it could be rare.
Yeah,
even though I don't want it to be rare.
Yeah,
it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes
it's a little
good,
chewy.
Yeah,
but it tastes good.
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, you gotta learn how to cook.
I've cooked stuff, but it's mostly pasta because I feel like pasta is always the food. I guess anything that doesn't have meat in it is one of the easiest to do because sometimes, like you brought up the whole chicken thing, is that it's kind of like a quick like on the line between right and wrong, right? If you cook something over too much, like for example, pork chops, right? If you cook it too much, it becomes too hard. Yep. It's not tender. It's not as good, right? Chicken, if you don't cook it enough, then at that point, it's not healthy, right? Because at that point, it's still pink in the middle or bloody in your case. But steak is but pasta, I always felt like if I can get the pasta part right, the noodles, whatever it may be, I can get that right. Everything else is easy.
It's all about methods. I've been how long has I been cooking for? 10, 12 years? Is it 10, 12 years? Yeah, it gotta be. Yeah, it gotta be like 12, 13 years.
So like when it comes to Thanksgiving, like is it you that does all the cooking, or is it your significant other that does
significant
it?
other than me, and then like the family too. I cook Rasta pasta for Thanksgiving.
So now I remember a long time ago you brought to work that jerk chicken. That was outstanding. Remember that? About
Was
5,
it jerk
6 years.
chicken or lemon pepper chicken?
It wasn't lemon. It was jerk.
Jerk chicken. Oh yeah.
Remember, this was about 5-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was outstanding. And then another time you bought some type of macaroni that was different. It was some other type of texture to it that was really good. So you're right. I get that. So now in Thanksgiving, what are you saying? You just make a couple dishes yourself, and then the rest of the family does the other things?
I make one dish for myself, then the family does the other, and then we all combine.
See, the thing with my family, my sister did it all. Now my sister lives in New Jersey now, so now my fiance does it. But I'm saying at the time when like we were just dating, so at that point my sister was doing, she did it all. There was like the Cape Verdean culture was like she just did it. We just showed up and we ate.
See, that's the thing. Now, when you eat somebody else cooking, it's really good to you.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's a different type of style.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm Jamaican. We have a different style than Americans. Then they have a different style than Cape Verdeans. Then a different style than Portuguese. Or a different style than Italians. It's a different type of seasoning.
Yeah.
On there.
Because
I be going looking on YouTube and you see how those white folks be putting fucking salt and black pepper only.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the seasoning?
Yeah.
Where's the Old Bay? Where's where's all the other seasoning? Where's the okra? Where's the thyme and all that? Like they just they're gonna sprinkle a little black pepper on. Like what the hell is that? You can't just sprinkle black pepper and salt on steak and think that's like
but usually they do that because that way they'll give you the extra little salt on the side for you to put it.
Some white folks, that's all they cook with, salt and black pepper.
Yeah, and they want you
just a pinch, not even like a whole, like a little pinch. Like we don't need that in our lives. We need good food. You know what I'm saying?
That's why Bam used to be like Bam because he was the only one that was doing it. You know, there was that dude too, that one from Boston. Remember the one that he would like put like a dash and stuff like that. Remember?
Was it Salt Bay?
Yeah. Where his restaurant got shut down in Boston.
Why?
Oh, so about 3 weeks ago, the health inspector went in, and then so he has this restaurant now in the Boston area, Boston Commons, I believe. So he went there, but then because of whole COVID, you need certain restrictions of the distance. You need like the dividers up on the counters and whatnot. And I guess he didn't pass the inspection, so they shut down the restaurant, which is crazy because for him, it was kind of right around after the grand opening. So they actually shut him down right after the grand opening. He was waiting for this like kind of this big moment to open. They shut him down. So
probably didn't have enough funds to do the rest.
It could be, yes.
It costs a lot of money just to do those dividers. I know that. But so you gotta learn how to cook, man.
I will.
Because that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the story? The reason why I actually learned how to cook? Because I used to have an ex-girlfriend who used to. That's how she get me. I used to couldn't cook. I wanted to get McDonald's. I was like, I can't eat this. So I gained mad weight. So she used to lure me in by cooking these good food, and then that's how she get me to spend a night, or something like that. So I taught myself like that shit ain't happening anymore. And I'm gonna taught myself how to cook. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to teach yourself how to cook.
Was that a bad thing if you had to spend the night?
No, I didn't want to be with her. That's why she was an act. Like, I don't mean like. You mean that's a bad thing? That's how they catch you.
Well, yeah, that's how they. Well, unless like she just saw the writing on the wall, you just became more distant. And you were already showing her, that hey,
no, we broke up, and then she's like, I know you ain't cooked today. Let me cook for you.
Yeah, as a friend, I just cooked something for us.
All of a sudden, I'm waking up in the room chilling after getting itis.
Yeah,
like, what the hell's going on?
You're waking up early in the morning. She's like, you want to have breakfast?
Yeah, right. You want a little pancakes? I'm like, oh shit,
shit, I'm still here.
Yeah. I was supposed to leave last night, but my bad. Like, I'll get those bacon and eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens.
Yeah,
just
like,
to get you caught.
Like, well, I'm sure you guys weren't sleeping all that time.
I probably was. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't want to do it. That's all.
True.
Yeah, no matter what I was doing, I didn't want trouble. It was in trouble. This is like a long time ago.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do it. I wanted to bounce. I wanted to bounce.
It's funny. I'm just being honest. Whether she's listening or not, I can't think of any girl out there other than my existing fiance that actually was a over the top cook. Like sometimes some girls could cook, but I can't think of. I don't know if it's just like the local Rhode Island area. It's just the wrong girls I got with, but I can't think of.
So I don't have to worry about it.
I can't remember the girls I've been with that like were good cooks. I can't really. I can't even answer that. Like I don't think they all were good cook. Maybe they might cook something, but not enough that I remember how good it was.
All I know, it was a bad situation.
It's just like a New Jersey thing.
Yeah, there was. My girl right now know how to cook. She's from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. But, geez.
And she's Cape Verdean. It's in the bloodline.
Yeah. So, but geez, man, I was so mad that I had to learn how to cook. Regardless of anything, I learned how to cook. But yeah, we're in the hour range. I'm trying to make it so we don't go over an hour, because last one was like an hour and a half.
What?
The episode.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah. Oh, because the verses, because
it was a long hour.
Damn you, Mags.
But as we get out of here, remember to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. So we're going to do video pretty soon. Obviously, we want you guys to kind of give your inputs on the video, what kind of scene we have. We're going to have a couple of scenes. We're going to do a lot of things. This is going to be a big move for us. We're going to actually move our videos to YouTube, and hopefully we get that started but within a couple of weeks on there. Obviously, we still have to kind of figure out a couple of diameters and things like that. But we're going to video pretty soon, and we're excited. You can finally see the face of the voice that you hear on your podcast. And we're also going to be excited that we actually surpassed 700 downloads on there. So
a big 700.
The big 700. We started this in end of July. Was it end of July?
It was somewhere around end of July. End of July.
Yeah. It's just an idea. So we want to get big things. We might do our Patreon pretty soon where we get subscribers, so you guys could call in and do your thing, and then we'll figure it out, okay? But see y'all later. We're going to be here for a while, and then we ain't going nowhere.
Till next time.
Till next time, people. We're going to be here.